Okay, history lovers, we're at the Skilton Bridge, which spans Skilton's Gorge, and it's located on Skilton Road, up in the Guernsey Town section of Watertown. And it is a little narrow one-lane bridge that was built probably 1853, around there. And we're going to take a look at it because the problem here is you can't see much of it from the road. You have to get out and take a look at it. So we're not going to look at it from the side, but we're going to look at it from both sides, and we're going to go down underneath it. But it spans the gorge. Let's take a look at that first. And here we are looking down to the north, and you know, it never looks as deep as it really is in pictures and videos, but you definitely would not want to fall down there. And there's not much water running. It's kind of dry, even though it's a cloudy Halloween today, and it has been drizzling a little bit, but can sometimes have quite a current flowing through there. And here we are looking to the south. Now, the stones used to build this bridge were quarried right here, and as you walk along you can sometimes see areas that have been cut flat that don't look like they were formed by nature, and those were areas where stones were removed. To access a look at the bridge, just cross the bridge and you can park on the right hand side. And this is actually property owned by the Watertown Land Trust, and they have created a trail that will actually take you all the way down to the original bridge, which probably dates back to the 1700s, the bridge that we're talking about today replaced. So let's take a walk over to the edge of the gorge and we'll take a look at the bridge from the side. This is just one of those sort of forgotten places that very few people ever see, and even fewer appreciate. We'll talk about how it was constructed when we get down there. Getting down there is a little bit of a hazardous journey, but we'll head down there right now. Alrighty, here we are. Now, this is a stone arch bridge. It's also been called a keystone bridge, and the reason for it is all of these rocks were put into place on top of a wooden scaffolding. The idea that when that keystone, let's see if I can point it out right there, when that was put into place, they could remove the scaffolding because all the rocks would lock together and gravity would hold the thing up. So there's no mortar used here, and this was quite a project for 1853. And the truth is, an earlier bridge was, they started constructing it, and if I can remember the guy's name. He was a well-known stone mason here in town, and he built the bridge so it dipped down considerably lower than this one. And I guess they were pretty much finishing it up and it collapsed. I guess he was mortified, but they chose somebody else to build the bridge. And we're not sure who it was that built this one, but as you can see, it rests on the ledge of the gorge. And it's been here now for what, 160, 70 years? And they're now going to turn it into a two-lane road, because right now you have to stop and let oncoming traffic pass through. Great, great landmark here in Watertown. And again, another view. In 1904, a guy named Clinton Judson was walking a cow across the bridge, and he made it almost all the way across the bridge, and the cow just kicked up her heels and just kind of went a little bit nuts and got over here on the hillside where there was a lot of ice at the time and slipped and fell and bonk right into the gorge. And the newspaper said the cow was thoroughly smashed. And I believe it. It's quite a fall from up there. Alright, underneath the bridge you can see the drill marks in some of the rocks. And what they would do is drill by hand, and eventually when they went deep enough they could hit it with a hammer and it would just break off. And in fact, down here I'm standing on a rock that has 3 drill marks that they didn't drill very far through. Just a classic piece of stonework. Just on the other side of the of the bridge, was a mill, and we have a picture of it. It was really old and dilapidated when the picture was taken in the late 19th century, and it's long gone now. nobody alive remembers seeing it. And we're not sure what they did there, but they certainly would have had a water wheel, and they would have used that power to manufacture whatever it is they were making. Just a short distance away from the bridge, and I do mean short, there's the bridge right there, is a dam that collapsed a couple of years ago, and the water used to come off the top of that. Behind it was a pond that they called Aunt Grace's Pond, and when it collapsed, the water came rushing down here and created quite a mess. Boulders being thrown all around, a lot of erosion, but it had no impact on the bridge whatsoever. So just picture a wall of water cascading down this stream, but the bridge survived with no problem. My father grew up nearby, and he said they used to dam up this stream every summer and go for a swim. They could make a little swimming hole. And like I said, right now the water's not running very fast, but there are times when I would not be standing right in the middle of it as I am now. As I mentioned, the land to the south of the bridge is preserved permanently. It's owned by the Watertown Land Trust, and farming rights are still being exercised, but otherwise no one can ever build on it, and it'll be around for generations to come, we presume. Some of the trees in this preserve have been adopted, for lack of a better word, by area residents, and here's one that my father sponsored. And some of these trees are pretty tall and pretty old. So if you decide to visit this site, you might want to wear some good shoes that you can grip on wet rocks with, and also that you don't mind getting wet. It's a little slippery down there, a little bit treacherous, so be careful and have fun, and we'll catch you in the next video.